This is why this is why I don't have no time. I'm going over this for y'all people. Why do y'all use this? I got to use this so each week take you a little deeper into why this is both. Because this is where it all lies. You hear me? In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Who's talking? According to Christians, this is God's holy book that he personally wrote with his own finger to Moses. I'm talking about at least the 5 books. Correct? So this should say, in the beginning, I created the heavens and the earth. But it doesn't say I, it says God talking away from himself. So now the question is, who's talking? Let's keep going. And the earth was without form, and void and darkness was upon the face and the deep. Now this person is talking about a formless earth, but at the last part he says the face of the deep. As you say in Hebrew, feyum moyum, the surface of the deep. The deep is called water. You remember? Seas. The deep blue sea. Are you with me? Now, you got to stay in the mind frame to get this here, right? And the earth was without form. The earth is the ground part. Erith in Hebrew. The matter part. It had no form. There was no mountains or streams to stand on. And void and darkness, boho and toho, they said, was upon the face of the deep. Check that out. Now, where was this person looking from? They had to be looking from one direction to see this. Look what it says. And the Spirit of God, or the Elohim, moved upon the face of the waters. So this person was in the deep sea, looking up. Read it. This ain't me. This is right here in the Bible. He's looking up from beneath the deep blue sea and sees God moving across the water. You understand? Now, no angel could be doing this without God's permission. And no Christian Jew or Muslim ever said an angel wrote that book. They say this is written by the Yud, or the hand, Yud Elohim, the hand of God. And they wear on their neck a Jewish symbol like this. And that is the Hebrew letter Yah, right? For hand. They say his own hand carved it. With me? So to them, God wrote this Bible. Is that right? They call it the word of. I want you to keep that frame of mind so you can see who's talking here. This is important. Next verse goes, verse 3 says, and God said, let there be light. This is not God talking. Someone talking about what they heard God say while they were in the deep blue sea watching God move across the water. He heard God from beneath the water say, let there was. And it says, and there was light. He's talking about what God, he said that, and he saw God, and God said something, he said, let there be light. And damn, it was light. And God saw, now he's watching with God, so he had to see God do this. Walking, I ain't kidding. And God saw that the light was good, told. And God divided the light from the darkness. So God first looked at the light and said, then he said, and divided it. Somebody's watching this happen, man. That's what the Bible means. They're looking at this in progress. 5, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning was on the... He didn't say God did that. He figured that out himself. Look at it again. He didn't say God did that one. He saw the light and day. He said, God did the evening and morning. So this person understood the motion of the sun around the planet before the sun was created. Because the only way you can get night, day, and evening and morning is the so-called motion of the planet around the sun. But there was no sun yet. Now, how did he see that? A vision from beneath the water? Verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. He created a separation in the waters. Check that out. And let it divide the waters from the waters. Come on, Rev. Come on, Imam. That's happening. That God made light, separated night, evening, dark, and then made two waters. Separated water from water. Where? How do you separate water from water? Where? The earth was still without water. They said they never said there was any form to the earth yet. And Muslims believe this because they say they believe in a Torah. They say a Torah is kalim Allah. It's the word of Allah. Oh yeah, it's been tampered with whenever it doesn't match the Hadith or the Quran. Anytime you talk to them and something don't match, then oh, that's been tampered with. You ain't telling a person who's Hafiz al Quran, I know better. Talk to someone who don't know the language. The Khan, as they call it. All right, let's go. Where we at? 8. And God called the firmament heaven. Stop. And there was evening and morning was on the second day. So now, water's up there and water's down here. God divided them that way. Now, what is that? Where does that fit in your lifestyle, in your normal daily atmosphere? Evening and the morning is there, something. Night and day is there. Where's waters up there and waters here? That's ascending waters. You follow? Mist of water goes up to form clouds and comes down as. They got seasons happening already. And somebody, on this point, somebody is watching this. Somebody is writing what God is doing and listening to what God is saying. And it ain't God himself. And God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together unto one place, clouds. And let the dry land appear. Now what? That means while all this was taking place, there was no dry land. Water was covering the whole planet. And at this point, dry land appears. So whoever is writing does not walk on dry land. Whoever is writing breathes underwater. Because we then covered somebody observing the creation before there was any place for someone who breathes air to walk. You understand? Somebody is breathing from underwater. Let's see what happens here. Let's watch the story. And God called the dry land earth. Can I go back a minute? Okay, because God just called the dry land earth in verse 10, correct? However, in verse chapter 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Something wrong here? There was already an earth. It says earth in chapter 1. It says earth in chapter 2. And it was already. I'm not supposed to notice this. I'm supposed to sit up in church and gobble up the book and never notice this. And if I question this, then I'm a bad guy. I'm supposed to go on century after century and read this crap. And I'm not supposed to ever get intelligent enough on my own to see if it makes any sense. Now that don't make sense. And I'm going to put my soul in your hands and sit around and pray in the church and wait with you for the judgment day on this, based on this. No. Call me anything you want, but you can have this. I don't need this. I can do bad on my own. Anyway. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass and herbs and yielding seeds, and the fruit trees yielding fruits after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. Again, somebody's monitoring this plant. God's now a gardener, planting God. All right, you watching this? And the earth brought forth grass and herbs and yielding seeds after its kind. And there were trees yielding fruits, whose seeds were in itself after its kind. And God saw that this was good. He had to wait for it to happen to see that it was good. He didn't know ahead of time that it was going to be good, because God said, let it be light, and then God saw that it was good. He didn't know when he created light it was going to be good. If he did, he wouldn't have to say that. Am I right? But he's doing an after-fact thing. Grass grows. That's good. That's what every farmer does. Plant something, if it grows, he says, that's good. If it don't grow, he said, that's bad. Is that right? I ain't playing with the Bible. I'm showing you what it says, like it or not. I'm your brother. You've been listening to them other people tell you this for years wrong. Let me try to straighten it out for you. And I'm reading to you in English, but I can do this in Hebrew also. Right? Don't let nobody fool you. I ain't coming from this King James, because King James wasn't even a Baptist. He was an Anglican, and here you are a Baptist to my King James Bible. Now, go read up on the Anglican church and see what they did to Baptists. You know? What was that? 10? I thought I was further than that. Thank you. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, let there be lights in the firmaments of the heavens to divide the day from the night. I thought he already did that. Didn't he just do that? Somebody forgot. But let's go on. Let's go on with our soul here, you know what I mean? And where was that? Where was that now? 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmaments of the heavens to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Didn't God just grow something back here? Don't things grow seasonally? Is this another mistake? How can you have a season created after you had a season? So God is doing things, looking at them, and naming them the same way I would. I'd make a car, look at it and say, automobile. Mobile. Automobile. If I get in the car and I turn the key and it starts up and I drive away, I say, this car is good. If it don't move, this car is. The point I'm reaching at, and I can go on, is who is making these statements? Who's doing this? Who's explaining this story? Who's talking about God? Who's watching God? Who is under the water looking up, monitoring God? No, not the devil. Let me show you, because in Genesis chapter 3, the same person talks about the devil. Genesis chapter 3 verse 1 says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. So that ain't the devil. Here's someone talking about the devil now. Over here, there's an identity. It says, check with us, and this is also in Genesis chapter 3, should be around 15. Yeah, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. This is what this person heard God say. You hear me? It ain't him doing it. He separates the devil from God, from the woman, from Adam. He goes on and says, now listen, check, this is verse 22. And the Lord God said, behold, the man has become as one of us. Now this person is quoting God.